Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way for the Crystal Palace versus Manchester United match reaction. Manchester United have only gone and beaten Crystal Palace in their backyard by 2-1. The first half from us was poor, very, very poor in all aspects. Second half, we were much better, more intensity. We were getting stuck in. We weren't backing off them. We were just more of a threat going forwards, which again, something we were lacking in the first half. I tried to do the high player rating edit sorted, but for some weird reason, the thing I edit them on is not being my friend today. So, hopefully for the next game, we're sorted. But look, just we'll start off with the positives. We have up the table. We went from 12th to 7th. We are now 7th with 21 points, and we are 2 points behind Chelsea, and we're a point behind top four. Sorry. Look, coming into this game today, look, if you watch the preview, I said that I didn't think we'd win that game, and I'm happy to be proved wrong. I really, really am. There's nothing better than being proved wrong when you're predicting something bad to happen and it ended up going the right way. Can't get my words out there. But I felt like the reaction from us was impressive, which it's sort of something that we've lacked in the past. Is we go a goal down or playing poor in the first half, you expect the second half to pretty much go the same. But it didn't. We started off, we got it was a free kick. The goal that Xerxes scored, that was a brilliant goal. Like the angle that was at, it was a brilliant, brilliant goal from Xerxes, who again, he had a very poor first half, in my opinion. I thought he was very, very poor in the first half, but he wasn't the only one. And then second half, Xerxes and Mount get the all-important goals. Bruno gets 2 assists. Bruno's my man of the match, to be honest. I thought it was solid. It was nice to see Martinez get minutes. It was nice to see him back. You'd imagine in the future that back three could be Martinez, Yoro, and Dele. I will speak a bit about Yoro, actually, because I didn't think he was great today. But look, he's only a young lad. I'm not going to rip into him too much. I'm not a demon. I'm not that bad of a person sometimes. But I think we needed this win as well, because we lost against Everton on Monday, and you're sort of thinking, if we went and lost this game, you're back to square one. We are back to sort of question what the hell. And again, it wasn't the greatest Manchester United performance in the world, but we won, and Selhurst Park is not an easy place to go to. Not all teams can be, Palace at their place, Liverpool. But it's definitely, it's been a long time since we've won there, like 5 or 6 years or something like that. That's a long time that we last beat them at Selhurst Park. Obviously, we beat them in Old Trafford and things like that, but at their place, they've made it a hard place to go to and play. But look, brilliant win. Happy with the win. What a way to be back on the channel. And please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Much, much appreciated. And the mic is probably better today because I'm actually using my camera mic. So I'm hoping I'm not looking like I'm having a panic attack, because it made me look like that yesterday for some weird reason. But anyways, besides that, don't know where I was going there. It was the first half, supposedly Ruben said that he wanted to seem to be more intense in the second half, and we were more press. And I think without Man United up that intensity, we're perfectly fine, especially against a side that played on Thursday night in France, had to travel back probably late Thursday night, Friday morning. Then you're back training, you're sort of, everything is just coming too fast. So you have to take advantage of that. You have to be like, hold on, they played Thursday night. We didn't play for how we didn't play. We played Monday night, they played Thursday night, so we had literally nearly a week's break. They had 2-3 days to just prepare for the game, so it's a big turnaround. Up that intensity, press them. It's going to come to a stage where the legs will go, and it'll all come down to who's the more sharp then. And we showed that we were, because again, the first half, you'd swear we played on the Thursday night, and they played at the start of the week. But in the second half, we turned it around. There was a game of two halves. They got a penalty. Mateta scores, touches it twice, takes 3 takes, scores again. I mean, I don't know what's going on through us. I thought when you touch the ball twice, it counts as a miss, and you're on your way. But it's retaken nowadays, which makes no sense. But anyways, that's just the rules. We won't complain too much because we won and it didn't cost us. We scored 2 goals from a set piece. The Mount goal was a good goal. I mean, Dean Henderson, I hate him with a passion, to be honest with you. I know hate's a strong word, but who cares? He didn't seem too happy with his ball. It was, it all happened too quick. And it was just perfect. It was perfect, and we defended well. We were just a whole lot better. Like if I'm talking about first half, the way we performed the first half, I'd be criticising everyone. Second half, we were perfectly fine. I thought the first half the defence looked a bit shaky. Shaw was literally our best player in the first half. Saves us a couple of times. De Ligt was poor. Yoro was poor. Dalot was poor. We were running shoes in midfield, which, realistically speaking, it isn't a hard thing to do. It doesn't matter how well or bad how we're playing, whether it's good or bad. But we just have to be more aggressive. You're going to their place, and I'm back to our defense in the second half. We made it hard for them, which is what you have to do at Selhurst Park. You have to be aggressive. You have to be up that intensity, and that's what we have to do. And it was a must-win in terms of the table because Spurs lost. Liverpool are just shit. So we didn't capitalise on them results, on teams dropping points last weekend and the weekend before the international break. We didn't capitalise on them. Whereas this time round, we were like, right, we need to win, because if we lost that game today, God knows, we probably would have been 14-15 probably going into that West Ham game on Thursday. And then it's the pressure mounts. Don't get me wrong, there's a bit of pressure off, but there's still pressure there, and we can't be performing like that, like we did in the first half in other games, because you're going to face better teams who are going to just hurt you, and that's just how it is. You play like that constantly, you're going to get hurt, and then that's just pretty much how it is. And then look, we just had to shut up shop. He brought on Kobe, he brought on Dorgu, he brought on Leach, which was nice to see him back, like I said. But yeah, you could say we showed character, we showed resilience, we had to bounce back from Monday and from how we performed in the first half, because honestly, the rants I was having at halftime, the rants I was seeing on Twitter at halftime and on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, you were sort of thinking, could Ruben be running out of time here? I'm not saying that win is set. I like Ruben. I back Ruben. He didn't make any changes at halftime, which I thought was a strange one. But then again, at halftime, I would have taken off Zirkzee, Yoro, Dalot, and I would have been wanting Ahmad to be higher up. And Mbeumo was sort of a bit deeper in the first half, but then he sort of was pushing forward. So I thought, but the reaction at halftime, the second half was better than everything in that first half, which, let's be honest, it wasn't the hardest thing in the world to do. But yeah, look, I really am buzzing. Like, I really am, because I think when you don't expect, I didn't expect us to win, and we win, and sort of like lovely buzzing, happy days. Because my God, Palace were all over us in that first half. It wasn't even a joke. But look, fair play, fair play to Bruno. he's a midfielder that does get a lot of criticism. I don't get me wrong, some of the criticism he deserves. I'm not gonna you know argue against that. But when Bruno kicks into gear, we do well. I mean, at the end, he was switching his hamstring, I think it was, and I was like, lovely. But supposedly it's because not sure I remember when he tried to kick the ball forwards and then he totally just missed the ball, doing a full 360, you could almost say. So that was pretty much that, because you don't want the likes of Bruno out. And a positive, we'll have Cunha back on Thursday as well. But there's the question. And obviously that'll be for the preview. But there's sort of the question is: does Xerxes get dropped and does Cunha come in and does Mount play in the 10, or does Cunha sort of, more than likely Cunha will probably be coming on from the bench. But there you go again. You're sort of thinking, okay, who plays front three? And Brumo's going to be nailed on to start. But then is it Xerxes Mount? Is it Xerxes Cunha? Is it Cunha Xerxes? Is it Cunha and Mount? That's just how it is. I mean, it's not like Cunha, it's just a head injury or something like that. So, it's not got to do with the body. No bones were shattered, no bones are broken. There was no, injuries from the waist down, thankfully. So, he's not going to be too rusty, you could say, because he hasn't played. Last time he played for us was before the international break against Boys, which he's only missed one game for us. So do we go again? That's a big plus. Mount, when he does play, does be good. In fairness to him, you can tell that he does. He does sort of enjoy playing in that sort of 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 system. We've done it with Chelsea when I think it was Thomas Tuchel or someone like that who played with the 3-4-2-1. He likes to be narrow. You sort of see where Bruno likes to be out wide, and then he sort of comes in where you might have an Ahmad on the overlap or underlap if. But yeah, look, all in all, I'm happy to get the win. I'm still a bit rusty, so the reason why I keep looking up and down is because I'm watching another football match. But yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to the next game now. Again, I think I'm gonna keep going with the narrative of predicting us to lose, because when I predict us to lose, we win. So yeah, West Ham are going to beat us 2-1 on Thursday. I'm just gonna go, guys. I don't think, yeah. But look, back at Old Trafford, big win. Thursday, I love Premier League games during the week. It's just something different about it. I mean, we haven't had a midweek game. We had one. Actually, we had one midweek game this season, and that didn't go well. But look, we won't go back to that. But yeah, West Ham at home, you'd imagine we should beat them. They're like 17th in the table or something like that, 17th, 18th. They're not having the most greatest season in the world. So we should be beating them. But I mean, look, I just want to read out the stats there. You are still fairly sort of tight stats. Obviously possession, we were sort of doing fine there. Same amount of shots. We had three more shots on target than they did. Passing accuracy was fine. A lot of tackles, a lot of fouls. Their XG is higher than ours, that's fair enough. I did see actually Oliver Glasner say that their 2 goals came from set pieces and not open play, which is gas, because your goal was a penalty. You tick, but there you go. Go cry about it. Manchester United beat you at your gaff. Before we played them today, it was 12. They've been 12 games unbeaten at Selhurst Park. It was like 6 wins and six draws, which, again, it's another positive, beating a team who are very good at home, have a good home record, who are a hard team to beat, hard team to play, hard team to break down. They're like second in the league with their defense. So we broke down that strong sort of defense. Yeah, I know, some set pieces, but there's more of the players defending set pieces than there is from open play. That's just how it is. But the passing was good. We're just very good. Everything about Mazraoui came on. I actually liked Mazraoui when he came on. He replaced Yoro. Look, Yoro looked a bit upset when he came off. Looked a bit upset after the match as well. I seen Mason Mount sort of talking to him, hugging up, consoling him. But look, he's a young lad. He wants to impress. He wants to, impress us all. But look at wrong. Yes, it wasn't his greatest game today. Neither was Monday, but at the end of the day, he's just gonna learn. We get better and we move on. But look, this has been the Crystal Palace versus Manchester United match reaction. Please do like the video, comment, and subscribe. I have a few ideas in mind what we're going to do during the week. And then, of course, the preview for the West Ham game will be out probably Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah, please do like the video, comment, subscribe, follow our socials. Links in the description. Manchester United have beaten Crystal Palace 2-1. Get in there. We move up the table. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Come on, United.